big one. Take a look at the new European national team selection pack on eFootball. There's no worldwide currently, but I imagine they'll add that in due course. They don't seem to be syncing up the national packs or the league packs these days. So for this one, as always, I'll put timestamps in the description. So if there's a particular player you want to hear about, click on the description and there'll be a link to take you straight to them. So let's start with last three, a couple of 80 rated ones. We'll start with Youri Tielemans. So Tielemans got a face scan, of course, box to box, only standard form. He's had some decent form for Villa this year though. Skill wise, he's got most of the skills he needs really for a box to box centre mid. So he's got the passing skills, one touch through, weighted. He's got a long range shooting, a first time shot as well, as you'd expect. He's got a shot on him in real life. He's got interception. You might want to give him one or two more defensive skills, especially if you play him as a DMF, but he's got most of the skills he needs. Does he need outside curler? He's pretty two-footed, but you might want to give him outside curler. But yeah, he's got most of the skills he needs. So let's jump over to eFootball Hub. Let's train him up, see how good he is. So he is pretty solid, but he's one of these midfielders. You can see what he's good at. He's good at getting on the ball and picking a pass, but elsewhere he's a little bit lacking in some areas. We've had a few versatile teams, not too many. The best that we've had, a couple that we've had from legend packs in the past, highlight cards. Those two slightly better than this one. And there's a couple around the same level. One from a Belgian pack a long time ago, and a Player of the Week, Champions League Player of the Week card. Although that Player of the Week card was a whole player, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. I might have been box to box actually. But yeah, a couple of similar ones, a couple of slightly better ones. So it's not the best version we've had of Tielemans. From his GB card, it's a pretty mixed boost. The way they boosted his attributes, speed and physical contact seem to be boosted the most, dribbling a little bit as well. But everything's been boosted. Like I say, it's very mixed. Some of them boosted by about as much as 6. Others not boosted at all. All ranges from 0 to 6. So it's quite mixed on. But like I say, speed and physical contact and also dribbling all had a bit of a boost. It's one of these cards where, see on a few of these highlight cards there, if you look at his GP card on auto allocation, it seems to have better kicking power and stamina, but that's once again it's because they've allocated more points. The auto allocation comes out different on GP cards compared to some highlight cards recently, so he's not better at kicking and stamina, kicking power and stamina, sorry, on his GP card. They just allocated more points to those, to his lower body basically. But he is obviously boosted overall, albeit not by a great deal, not the most exciting boost. So yeah, you can see what he's good at. It depends where you want to use him. Let's just do what we often do is leave midfielders. We'll start as a DMF and we'll move him up the pitch. So as a DMF, yeah, so with auto allocation there, even on auto allocation as a DMF, not great defensively. Tackling 78 as a DMF, that's not great. Yeah, if you could put him in some kind of double pivot as long as you've got someone like an Anchorman or Destroyer next to him who's doing the bulk of the defensive work. But yeah, certainly as a lone DMF, he's not going to cut it defensively. He's not got a great deal of physical strength either. Sure, he's okay on the ball and the passing is good, but yeah, as any kind of DMF, I think you need a bit more defensive ability. He's a box to box as well. He's still going to be getting up and down the pitch quite a bit. So yeah, DMF, I don't know. You lose a bit of what he's best at, and he's not really great at what he needs to be. You know, the defensive and physical side of things as a DMF. So I'm not sure. I don't really rate him in that position. But as a CMF, we'll just go straight back to the auto allocation. His main position. You could spare some points from passing. It's a bit of a shame because he's great at passing, but if you take him all the way down to about 90 below pass, it's still, I would say, still good enough. It's around about the level I'd look for. On the ball, he's decent enough. I'd like a bit more ball control maybe, but he's fine. He's okay on the ball there. Elsewhere, I'd like a bit more balance, attacking awareness and acceleration. I think that dexterity is the obvious one to put some points on. It's only up to 4, so I think that's an obvious one to boost a bit. And those last 4 points, I'd probably put them on aerial strength. I think that's what I'd do. So you just nick a few of passing. His passing's still good. He's got the passing skills to back those attributes up, of course. He's still all right on the ball there, but we've got that attacking awareness to 80, which is lovely. Balance likewise. A bit more physical strength, a bit more acceleration. The stamina's not amazing. I think you can get away with that certainly on a centre mid, but he's a box to box. He's going to get up and down a lot. He will probably get tired a bit late in the game. So I'd have liked a bit more stamina, but I don't think you can really spare the points. He's already up to 8 on lower body. It's going to be 3 per increase for the next 4. So yeah, this is an alright centre midfielder. Like I say, he's got most of the skills he needs. He's got the most important ones, I think, on a centre mid, box to box, one touch through and interception are probably the first 3 skills I look for. He's reasonably two-footed, so outside curl is not a massive miss. Heel trick might be a nice one. Maybe his blocker. Long range curler could be a nice one as well. But yeah, like I say, he's got most of the skills he needs. His passing is going to be good. He's going to be alright on the ball. He can get his attacking awareness to a nice level for a box-to-box centre mid. Just a bit of a question mark on his defensive work, really. His tackling is not great. And his stamina is not amazing. So yeah, he could be decent as a centre mid. I don't think it's an amazing one though. If we move him up the pitch a bit, attack midfield, you can use him as an attack midfielder. He will not have an active playing style because box to box is not active as an attack midfielder. So if you lose all the points off defending an aerial, he's clearly better on the ball there. You can actually nick one there. I think you're not going to miss that. And you can just give him a little bit more kicking power, gets kicking power to 90. Yeah, I would do that. Yeah, that could be certainly be a decent attack midfielder. He's got long range shooting and first time shot. He's got the passing skills, of course. I would definitely look to give him long range curler, but very tidy on the ball. Attacking man's at 80. Passing is going to be good. He's got a bit more on his shooting now. He's not going to have amazing shooting, but he's got those shooting skills. So as long as you don't try anything crazy with him, you should be able to pop off a half decent shot here and there. Not the quickest, but it's not too important. It's an attacking midfielder. He's got some kicking power behind his shots. A little bit of physical strength, bit of balance. I'd like a bit more balance on him. Yeah, he could certainly do a job as an attacking midfielder. I probably think he'd be better as an attacking midfielder than a centre midfielder. That's just my opinion. If you don't like players not having an active playing style, then you won't agree with that. But if you don't mind a player not having an active playing style, then yeah, I do think he could certainly do a very decent job as an attacking midfielder. I'm not sure he'd be effective as a wide man. He can position train him from right and left midfield. Can you give him enough pace to do that? Not really. I mean, on the right, you could give him pinpoint crossing. You could have a fantastic cross on him. Certainly got that lofted pass, great kicking power, bit of curl. Do you want a wing as slow as this? I mean, you could certainly do a job there. It could be an option for you if you really wanted to do that with Tielemans. He'd have the box-to-box playing style active if you play him as a right mid or a left mid. I wouldn't recommend it, but certainly he could do a job on the right. He could certainly get up and down and whip some crosses in for you from the left without more pace, without a bit more dribbling. I don't know. You need to give him a long range curler. Could be an option, but I think if you're going to use him out wide, you might as well just position him as a left mid or right mid, just set his position to centre midfielder, to be honest, just have him as a wide centre midfielder. So yeah, I live on auto allocation. It's not an amazing card, this Tielemans card. It's not the best version of him that we've had. But yeah, certainly what he's good at, he'll be good at, which is picking a pass. But beyond that, there are a few question marks if he actually is not as high as I'd like. Certainly the tackling, defensive mid or centre mid, I'd like it to be a bit better at tackling. So yeah, I think as an attack midfielder might be where he's best. But if you just want to focus on what he's good at with the passing, as a centre mid, he could well do a job. Maybe even as a DMF, but there are some question marks there. So yeah, it's not a bad card certainly, but it's not the best version of Tielemans, and it's not an overly exciting one to me. Next we have our first ever feature version of Nathan Collins from Brentford. He's a destroyer, got a face scan, only standard form. He's about 6'4", good height for a centre back. Not got many skills though, so he's got heading and aerial superiority, so in the air looks like we're going to be sorted. See how high that jumping goes actually, but yeah, we've got the aerial skills, and then we've just got interception and fighting spirit, so he does need a bunch of skills defensively. Man marking block would be the first two I'd like to give him. I think those would be crucial, and then acrobatic clearance, maybe sliding tackle. Yeah, man marking block are the most important two though. He's lacking some skills, this guy. But let's train him up on eFootball Hub, see how good he actually is. And he is pretty solid looking. So yeah, the jumping's only 83, so it's not going to be amazing in the air. What's the vertical reach? Oh, 277 for his jumping. Okay, so that's pretty good then. He'll be pretty solid in the air. The core defensive attributes are good. Physical strength good. That's about around the 90 mark. Decent pace. Yeah, this is a solid looking centre back, to be honest. It's just a shame he's lacking skills, really. We've not had a feature version of this guy of any kind before. If you compare him to his GP card, again, it's another one of his cards. When you look at his GP card and you auto allocate it, his physical contact goes one higher, but that's because of the auto allocation allocating more points in certain areas. So it's not better if it's not got better physical contact. It's just with the auto allocation it can be higher, but obviously this is a better card overall. Goes without saying. The boost they've given him at level 1, mainly on his pace, his stamina, and his defending really. And it's a solid centre back. He just desperately needs some skills. Looking at the allocation, I wouldn't change much. I don't think there's a great deal of point in changing anything really. There's no glaring weakness. He's not going to be great on the ball. Maybe he's a little bit clunky. You'd expect that. He's a big physical destroyer, but yeah, he's got, in terms of the attributes, got pretty much everything he needs. He's a good size. His defensives are good. Physical strength is good. on the face of it, I'd like a bit more jumping, but with the height he's got, as you can see here, that vertical reach 277, that's decent. There's nothing wrong with that. If you really wanted a bit more jumping on him, you could maybe just nick a few points off his pace, I guess. Could do that. You're not going to really notice the loss to his pace. I think if we put them on goalkeeper 1, you can get his jump up to 88 and then hit the 280 mark on vertical reach. If you're really worried about cross spammers, that could well be worth doing. I'll be tempted to do that personally, to be honest. So yeah, whether you do that or not, or whether you just leave him on auto allocation, it's not a great deal to say about this guy. It's just a good, solid centre back, but there's just one obvious negative, and that's the lack of skills. You really need to give this guy some skills. Man marking blocker for me would be absolutely crucial. Acrobat clearance as well would be a good one to have. Maybe sliding tackle, and you could possibly give him 1 or 2 passing skills. But yeah, I like with a lot of these cards, you can use them in the English League Challenge. It could be a handy one for that. And like I say, it's just a good, solid destroyer centre-back. So if the playing style works for you, yeah, no glaring weakness. Solid card, really. Next we have Angelo Stiller. He plays for Stuttgart, so no live update, and you can't use many league challenges, so straight away that's a big negative. Can use him in a Germany squad if you use a Germany squad in the national team challenge, and of course in any unlimited ones or divisions. But yeah, league challenges, this guy's not going to be much use. He's got a face scan. He's an orchestrator. He's got unwavering form, so that does to some extent compensate for the lack of live update. He's a left footer, not too two-footed. Has he got outside curler? No, so outside curler would be a good one to give this guy, so we'll forget. So yeah, he's one of these midfielders, deep line playmaker with a bunch of technical skills, you know, ones to help with his passing and so on, but nothing defensively, so that's the first concern. So yeah, outside curler I think would be quite an important one, but interception, depending how deep you play him on the pitch, as a DMF, I think maybe his man marking block as well could be needed on him. Maybe his fighting spirit as well. But let's go over to eFootball Hub, but let's train him up. See how good this Stiller card is. So he's decent looking. So it's the first time I've had any feature version of him. What they've done boost wise. So quite a mixed boost from his GP card. 5 on his physical contact at level 1, 7 on his speed, 10 on his kicking power. Everything else between 1 and 3 really. So those are the main ones: physical contact, speed, kicking power. Interesting on eFootball Hub. If you look on eFootball Hub, his GP card's got 38 for place kicking. I'm not sure if that's an error. If that's true, then it boosted his place kicking by about 35 or something. But yeah, that might be an error on eFootball Hub, because I'm not sure you can even go below 40. But yeah, that was interesting when I noticed that. But yeah, he's solid looking. He's about 6 foot. He can defend. The passing obviously is good. He's tidy enough on the ball. He's certainly not going to be a dribbler by any means, but yeah, as a deep line playmaker, he looks very capable. Would I do much with these points here? Just notice I got 14 on defending. I mean, I don't think I'm going to use this guy as an out-and-out defensive mid. He's okay defensively as a real proper defensive midfielder, but lack of physical strength there. I think all in all, you're better off taking a couple of points away from defending there, because those last 2 increases on defending have cost us 4 points each. So just 2 off defending, that's given us 8 points. Where are we going to put those points? I think probably I'd be tempted to put him on physical contact if you're going to use him as a DMF. I'd also be tempted to take 1 off passing there and just give him a bit more balance. And in fact, I'll take 1 from the lower body as well. We can leave him at 80 speed, 90 stamina, and get another on dexterity there, get his balance up to 80. Yeah, that looks nicer to me. I would do that. As an out-and-out defensive mid, like I said, I don't think you can give him enough defensively and physically to be an out-and-out defensive mid, but as a defensive mid in some kind of double pivot or in some kind of midfield system where you've got at least one other midfielder doing the bulk of the defensive work, he can defend a little bit, got a little bit of physical strength on him as well now. I would look to definitely give him 1 or 2 defensive skills as a minimum interception. I would like to have blocker as well, and probably man marking as a defensive mid. But certainly he's got the passing skills. I would give him outside curler. He's not particularly two-footed. So yeah, skill-wise, I think that's all you really need on him. But yeah, as a defensive mid, as a kind of deep line playmaker, passing good, on the ball he's okay. Defensively, he can do a bit of defensive work down the right. He's looking all right now since we shuffled a few points around. Looks pretty solid. Yeah, could certainly do a job. If you moved him up the pitch a bit, defending not as important. Nick some points off defending there. I'll just go down to 8, I think. And then I think we'll just go to dribbling there. Improve him on the ball a bit. And get his ball control to 90, that's lovely. Got 1 point left. stick on shooting, doesn't really matter. I think I'll just do that as a centre mid. So all we've really done there, we've taken some points from defending, made him a lot more comfortable on the ball. So as an orchestrator, centre midfielder, again, as a deep line playmaker, he's not going to be bobbing forward a great deal. He's going to be roaming around the middle of the park, getting on the ball, picking a pass. Will be very nice indeed. Not an amazing card, but certainly a solid one. Could certainly do a job. It's one of these cards is quite kind of a rare one because obviously we've not had a feature version of this guy. He seems to be linked fairly regularly with the move to the other leagues like the Premier League, so he may well get some live update at some point. Albeit he still wouldn't be able to use them in the league change because they don't change the club affiliation on these cards retrospectively. But yeah, looks solid as a centre mid. In terms of other positions, you could train him as a wide midfielder. Would you want to do that? I'm not sure. Let's start as a left mid because he's a lefty. If you gave him pinpoint crossing, can you make him a left winger? You could, to be fair. Would you want to do that? The attacking awareness sucks. Apart from that, though, comfortable enough on the ball, could have a great cross if you gave him pinpoint crossing, decent pace. A lot of these centre mids do look like they could be decent out wide as a cross spammer if you gave him crossing and stuff. I don't know if I'd recommend doing that, but if you really wanted to, if you get this guy, you don't fancy him at all in the middle, he could be a left mid. Not saying it's amazing, like I say, but yeah, it's a very kind of old school one. He's not the quickest necessarily, not much of a dribbler, but definitely got the crossing. If you gave him the pinpoint crossing skill, you could make him a left mid. Right mid, likewise, it's same as Tielemans really. I mean, you could do that, but I think you might as well, if you wanted to put him in a wider position, just make him position him there and just set him from a wide mid to a centre mid. To be honest, I just have him as a wide centre midfielder. I don't think it's worth the position trainers. So yeah, definitely better as a DMF or CMF. You can position train him as a centre back. I don't think this guy's going to be much of a sneaky centre back. We'll have a look anyway. I mean, he's not as bad as I expected. The defences are pretty decent, but tackling 85 is not brilliant. Physical contact 80 is not great. And he's got no defensive skills. So is it worth all the position trainers and skill trainers to try and make this guy centre back for how good he is? Nah, it's not really, is it? So yeah, we'll just leave him on auto allocation centre mid to finish up. So yeah, as a defensive mid or centre mid with that orchestrated playing style, as like a deep line playmaker, very capable. The attributes are pretty decent. It's clear what he's good at, getting on the ball, picking a pass, similar to Tielemans. But he does need one or two defensive skills. Probably needs outside curler as well. The lack of live update and the lack of a league, not being able to use in the league change, there are a few negatives that go against him. But in terms of the overall ability, it's not a bad card at all. It's quite a rare one as well. So some pros and some cons to this guy. I think some people might not be too keen on him, but for some people it could well be a nice card to pick up. And next up we have Memphis Depay. So Depay has got a face scan, of course, with his lovely headband. Deep lying forward. Unwavering form. Again, no live update. That's annoying. He's playing in Brazil now. The Brazilian league is in eFootball, but obviously the licensing situation in the Brazilian league, in terms of how up to date it is and stuff, is absolutely, well, it's not great. We'll put it that way. So yeah, it seems a bit annoying that they've not given him his club affiliation. But yeah, no club affiliation, so it looks like no live update apart from international weeks, of course, and no league change as well. So again, we've got a big negative straight away with Depay, but if you use a Netherlands squad at any point, could be a nice one to have for that. And of course, in unlimited or in divisions and so on, yeah, you could certainly use him in some events. But yeah, the lack of league change, lack of live update, a bit of a shame. He does have unwavering form though. He's got some decent skills. They've got a few positions you can use him in. As a centre forward, first time shot, obviously the most important. Long range curler as well, long range shooting, so shooting skills are there, that's great. No passing skills, you might want to give him some passing skills. You've got double touch and soul control. If you give him flip flap, he'll have the ball roll double touch. Does he need outside curler? Maybe his weaker foot is fairly strong, but he doesn't use it very often, so outside curler would be a good one. But yeah, let's jump over to eFootball. Let's see how good this Depay card is. So he's decent. So we've had a few versions of Depay. I've got two versions. I've got an old Player of the Week version from when he was at Atletico Madrid. I've always really liked it. It's a goal poacher, and he's a centre forward as well, but I've always liked him wide left. He's been very handy. If you look at both the Player of the Week cards I've had with Depay, there have been two, and they're both goal poachers, and they've both got a slightly different build to this one. They've got less attacking awareness, but they've got more finishing, and like I say, goal poacher playing style. It's interesting when you look at the lack of attacking awareness. In my experience, mine and the other one probably as well, is a little bit better kind of just off the attack. Maybe it's out wide or just SS or something. Even though they got the goal poacher playing style. So yeah, it depends on whether you go for the playing style or you look at the profile and you think about the profile, where he fits best on the pitch. But slightly different builds on those Player of the Week cards. They're interesting, like I say, as a goal poacher, but not being as suited to playing as an out-and-out striker. In my opinion, those two cards, they're quite interesting, but slightly different build to this one. And we've had a bunch of highlight cards as well of Depay. If you look at the best ones, the best two, I think, there's one. They're both from kind of legend boxes. One of them I got from, I think it was the most recent Netherlands pack that had Gullit, Rijkaard and Van Basten in it. That version of Depay and the other one, the two best ones are slightly better than this one, but there's not a lot in it. So it's not the best version of Depay, but it's a good one. And at level 1 compared to his GP card, it's a pretty mixed boost, to be honest. A bit more on speed than anything else really, but a decent boost overall. And yeah, it's looking like a tidy card, like I say. It's one of these cards where I'm looking at it and I'm thinking about my experience with my Depay card. I've barely really used the one from the Netherlands pack. All the highlights are a deep line forward like this one. I've barely used that one, to be honest, but the Player of the Week one I've used quite a lot over the last couple of years. And he's been nice. He feels nice on the ball. He's one of these cards, he's got a bit of pace and he's fairly tidy on the ball, but and good balance as well, but he's got a bit of physical strength. You do notice that. He feels smooth on the ball, but he feels strong as well. So he's an interesting one to play. You don't always get that physical strength on someone who's good on the ball, attacking players. But the question is going to be where you're going to use him. As an out-and-out striker, deep line forward, is 8-4 finishing going to cut it for you? For me, that's a bit on the low side. I'm not sure where you're going to get the points from. You could nick a couple off aerial. On a deep line forward, I'd love to just nudge that passing up to 80. I mean, it only takes 1 point, so I will. I don't know. What I look to do on centre forward, the first thing I'm thinking is attacking awareness and finishing. It'd be nice if we could nudge the attacking awareness to 90. We can't quite get it there. If we're not going to quite get it to 90, maybe we might as well just leave it at 88. I won't go below that because you go down by 2 the next one from 86 to 88 or around that threshold. But if we take that 1 point away and get 1 on finishing, and then is there anything else we can put on finishing? Not really. Yeah, so awareness and finishing as a striker, a bit of a question mark there really. Got 1 point left. I'm sticking that back on aerial. But I do think it still looks decent. On a deep line forward, he will be dropping deep and getting involved in the build-up. So a bit of passing will help. As we saw the skills though before we went to eFootball Hub, there are no passing skills. I think it'd be really beneficial to give this guy one touch passing through passing. So when he does drop into the build-up, with a decent passing attributes, that will suit him well. He's pretty tidy on the ball, bit of physical strength and balance. He's got good pace, kicking power as well behind his shots. Has he got long range shooting? Yeah, he's got long range shooting. So yeah, if you give him one touch passing through passing, when he does drop deep, gets on the ball, whether you're picking a pass or popping a shot off from outside the box, could be very well equipped. I like the look of this card. I think it looks good, to be honest. The finishing is a bit of a concern, but on a deep line forward, I think that the fact he's a deep line forward, that probably makes that a bit more passable, 85 finishing, because he's not going to be bombing him, charging him behind the defence like a goal poacher will all the time. Yes, he's going to be in and around the box and he'll have opportunities to shoot, of course, as a centre forward, but with the deep line forward playing style, I think you can forgive that finishing a bit more. Certainly the awareness is around a decent level. And yeah, like I say, he's comfortable getting on the ball, not just technically, but he's got that physical strength as well. A bit of pace, kicking power behind his shots. Looks pretty interesting as a deep line forward. If the deep line forward playing style works for you, a lot of people are saying it's working better since the most recent update to the gameplay. I've not used deep line forwards a great deal since then, but they do seem to feel a bit nicer. It might be a placebo, I don't know, but yeah, certainly if you do like the playing style, I think it's an interesting one. I think he could suit the playing style well, could be a very good option. As an SS, you would have that playing style active as well. I don't think I'd change the build at SS. You could take some points off shooting if you wanted to, focus more on playmaking, and then you could use those points to maybe get his attacking awareness and his balance to 90 and his speed to 90 if you wanted to do that maybe. Yeah, that would be quite tempting maybe. But yeah, as an SS or striker, whether you do that with the build or go with the initial build I did just now, I think it could be pretty effective. In terms of other positions, could you make him an AMF? You could position training for AMF. How good can his passing be? Interesting. That's very interesting actually. Let's just get his passing, low pass up to 90. I mean 90 plus and all the on the ball attributes. We can still get him up to 80 for physical contact. 1 point left, I'll put it on for physical contact as well. Yeah, that's an interesting build. In fact, could nick a bit from dexterity, give him a bit more kicking power when he's cracking shots off from attacking mid. Yeah, still 1 point spare, stick it back on aerial. Yeah, it could be a very interesting attacking mid, actually. He won't have an active playing style as attacking mid. If you really dislike that playing style, you want to get rid of it, but you like this card, training him as an attacking midfielder could be one option. It would be even more important to give him one-touch passing, through passing. But if you give him one-touch passing, through passing, train him something like this, going to feel nice on the ball, good passing. He's not got the bounce that he does as a striker, but he's still got that physical strength. He's got decent pace, bit of kicking power behind his shots, good attacking awareness. Could be a very interesting attacking mid, so that could be an option for you. Out wide, he's already fully proficient on the left, so like I say, my old goal puncher player of the week one, I've enjoyed him mostly on the left, cutting aside off the left wing. He's been very, very nice for me, very effective. He won't have an active playing style out wide. That could be a very nice way to use this Depay card. So if we take some points back off passing, not as important out wide. You could take all the points off passing, to be honest, if you wanted to. You'd want to focus on getting on the ball and cutting inside and getting shots away. He does have a long range curler, and he's obviously got first time shot, long range shooting as well. So shooting wise, he's well equipped. Still important to give him those passing skills. I think whatever position you use this guy in, one touch passing, through passing will at least be somewhat important. But yeah, we can afford to lose all those points of passing out wide. Let's give him some pace back. I'll leave that physical at 80. See if we can get away with that. So can we get 90 speed acceleration? Yep. 2 points left. Let's just stick him on passing, I guess. Maybe it'd be nice to give him a bit more finishing, but yeah, I think that looks pretty nice out wide. He's got more pace than the one I've got, the player of the week one I've got at least. Speed acceleration at 90, great kicking power behind his shots, finishing 80, curl 83. He'll have a nice long range curler coming onto his right foot. Very tidy on the ball. Passing will be decent. Again, one touch passing through will be beneficial. Very good attack awareness for a wide man. Bit of physical strength, decent balance. Yeah, won't have an active playing style. That might bother some people, but coming off that left wing, it looks like he could be a very interesting option. And then in the only other place you can play him, right wing, and we're going to try him as a cross spammer. We seem to be training everyone as a cross spammer, but if it's something you can do, I might as well show you that it's a possibility. Free up some points for his passing. You could do it. Am I recommending it? No. Is it worth doing? It's down to you, really. Could certainly be an option if you give him. Always got just one away from 80 curl. I'll just leave it there. Yeah, position training for right midfield, give him pinpoint crossing. You could make Memphis Depay a cross spammer. Is that what you want to do? I don't know. Unlikely, but has he got the pace? Yeah. On the ball? Yeah. Lofted pass if you gave him pinpoint crossing, 85 lofted, a little bit of curl, great kicking power. He could have a decent cross on him. Yeah, it could be an option, to be fair, if you want to use Depay on the right wing and whipping crosses in. Give him the pinpoint crossing. Training for that position could well be an option for you, but I'm not sure that's what most people want to do. I think for most people, you're probably going to use him through the middle or wide left, but you've got a bunch of ways you can use this guy. It's not the best version of Depay that we've had, but it's a good one. It's a big negative with the fact that there's no league change you can use him. He's not got his club affiliation, even though he's in the league that's in the game. It's very, very, very frustrating, but he's good. In my experience, he feels nice on the ball. He's got a bit of end product. Give him those passing skills, and you've got a bunch of positions you can use him in. I think he could be a very nice card for a lot of people. Next up is Kökçü, plays for Benfica these days. Turkish midfielder, another orchestrator, can play DMF, CM attacking mid. He's got unwavering form. He's got a face scan. There's no Portuguese league change, so that's a negative straight away. But he does get live updates, got unwavering form. Could be going for your Turkish squad if you rock a Turkish squad. Skill-wise, what we got? So again, you've got another one of these midfielders. It's all about passing. Get him on the ball. Soul control's nice. You've got a long way shooting, then the passing skills, like I say. But nothing defensively, so it depends where you're going to use him. As a DMF especially, maybe, and probably as a CMF as well, you're going to need to give him 1 or 2 defensive skills, I think. Maybe outside curler as well. Doesn't use his weaker foot very often. So yeah, a few skills needed, but he's got some good ones. Let's jump over to the hub, and we'll train him up. Where are we? Where is eFootball hub? There is eFootball hub. How good is Kökçü? He's good. Right, so again, it's the same deal as a lot of these deep line playmaker types of midfielder. Get him on the ball, pick a pass, fantastic. Doing his defensive work, not so fantastic. Physical strength as well, really lacking. So it's always the case with Kökçü. I've had a couple of versions. I've got the most recent, the one from the most recent Turkey pack. And it's the same issue that I just said. He's lovely on the ball and picking a pass and playmaking, but he's just not cut out for doing his defensive work. They've gone up to 6 on defending, nothing on aerial. We'll just see what the auto allocation says. Can you actually make him a decent sentiment defensive mid? Not really. So yeah, it's another case of, double pivot maybe if you've got someone alongside him doing all the defensive work for him, but he's not strong physically, he's not great defensively, so I don't like the idea of playing this guy deep in the midfield. Moving up the pitch a bit, going back to auto allocation as a centre mid, I'd be a lot more comfortable, but still, even as a centre mid, I'd like him to be stronger defensively and stronger physically, so could be tweak the build a bit. He can certainly take some points off passing. Always do the same thing really, a bit more physical strength, a bit more defending. I don't think it's sufficient to do much more there. I'll just give him a bit more dexterity those last few points. I think that's what I'd do. Nice to make him a bit better defensively and physically, but yeah, definitely needs one to defensive skills even as a centre mid. But you can see what he's best at. Like I say, you can get him on the ball, he's comfortable on the ball, he can pass the ball, he's got the passing skills, decent pace on him from a midfielder, got a bit of kicking power on him. Balance is decent, stamina's good. Yeah, he's one of these cards where in my experience, he feels nice on the ball. It's just a question of where and how and where you're going to fit him into your midfield, because he's good at getting forward but not good at defending, and with that orchestrated playing style, when you play him as a defensive mid or a centre mid with that playing style active, he's just not going to get forward a great deal. Orchestrators will get forward, but they don't bomb forward anywhere near as much as, for example, a whole player or even a box-to-box. So yeah, with that playing style, it's a bit frustrating having a bit more defensive and physical ability. You can move him forward as an attacking midfielder. I think I'll just leave him with that build as a centre mid. That's probably what I'll go with. But again, we could use this guy as an attacking midfielder without an active playing style. So let's just see. We'll start with auto allocation. What does the auto allocation tell us? Yeah, so got a bit more than we need on the ball maybes. I'm looking at that attacking awareness. I'd like to get that a bit higher. I'd like a bit more speed, but can we spare enough points to really improve him in those areas? Well, up to 12 in dribbling. We can nick a couple off there. And that would get us a couple more dexterity. I think I'll probably do that. Or would I? It'd be nice to nudge that kicking power to the 90 mark as well, actually. That's a shame. Could do that. It's not a great deal that you can do. You can shuffle it this way and that way, but you're looking at something along these lines as an attacking mid. So yeah, similar to Tielemans really. In my opinion, he probably would work better as an attacking mid. He's already fully proficient there. I've actually used mine as an attacking mid. I've got the, like I say, I've got the one from the most recent Turkey pack. There's been 2 from Turkey packs. We've had, I think that one from the most recent Turkey pack and the nominating contract one that's fairly recent. Those two look like they're the best versions of Kökçü so far, and they're very similar to this one. So this is about as good as we've had. We've also had a Player of the Week, Champions League Player of the Week version of them that was a whole player, similar level overall in terms of overall ability, but as is always the case of Player of the Week, they shuffled the points around a bit. I don't think his passing was as good, and he was a whole player as well. But yeah, my one I've used as an attacking midfielder without an active playing style, and he was great. He did make attacking runs. He was good on the ball. His shooting was decent. Yeah, I personally feel like as long as you don't mind the lack of playing style, that might be the best place to use this guy. I think that's where he's best suited because of the lack of physical ability and the physical strength and defensive ability. But if you've got 1 or 2 other midfielders doing all the defensive work as a centre mid, could be very effective. Obviously, he's great at getting on the ball and picking a pass. He's got the passing skills. He's certainly got the attributes there. Depending how you train him, he's going to have a lovely pass on him. But yeah, it's just a question of what of what kind of midfield setup you've got. Because for me, I use a double pivot. I like 2 midfielders to be very capable of defending. I like the defenses to be in the 80s, the physical contact 80+. I like 2 all-rounders there. So he really doesn't work for me as a DMF. It just doesn't fit there. But like I say, moving up the pitch a bit, he's fantastic. So yeah, it depends on what you're looking for from a midfielder. But certainly if you can make him work for you, in my experience, he feels nice on the ball. He's got really nice passing. Could be a very nice card. In terms of other positions, in fact, I'll just quickly compare to his GP card because we just started talking about the other versions of him. He's had a mixed boost from his GP card. His attacking awareness has had a bit of a boost. His tight possession, defending, physical contact, that's about it really. Again, when you look at his GP card and auto allocation, it looks like he's got more, a bit more on his low body on his kicking power and stamina, but that's just because they've allocated more points to his low body on his GP card. So yeah, obviously he's had a boost from his GP card. And yeah, he's solid, just depends how he fits into midfield. Again, you could position training to play out wide. I've considered training mine as a wide midfielder, to be honest, so I can get more use out of him because, like I say, he doesn't really fit into my midfield. I don't often use an attacking midfielder, but you can position training for left mid. You only need to increase his proficiency by 1 on the left. You could position train him for right midfield if you get that twice. Could you make him a wide midfielder? Let's see. We'll start as a right midfielder. Can you make him a cross spammer? To be honest, you probably could. Hang on, a bit more dexterity. So 8 on all of these. You could. Would he be amazing? No. But certainly could be pretty good. Has he got crossing already? No. So if you gave him pinpoint crossing, if you're training for the right, you can give him pretty decent pace. 90 lofted, 82 kick on, 95 kicking power. If you gave him pinpoint crossing, you're training for the right, could have a fantastic cross on him. A bit of pace, bit of balance, great stamina. Not much of a dribbler, but the ball control is good. Tight possession likewise. Again, could be a good option as a right midfielder if you are spamming crosses in. Am I recommending you do that? No. But if you don't fancy him through the middle, like I said, I've considered training mine for right or left midfield. With pinpoint crossing, you can definitely do a job for you on the right hand side. It can be very effective. As a left midfielder, you only need to get left midfield once to make him fully proficient there. Passing not as important on the wide midfielder. Has he got long range curler? No, he's got long range shooting. But if you give him long range curler as a right footer on the left, he's got the passing skills. A bit more dribbling. Probably just do that, I think. Something like that. So the passing not as important. A bit of pace about him. Yeah, you could do that. Could make him a left midfielder. But again, though, I think with Kökçü, I'd be tempted to do the same thing as I've mentioned with a couple of other players. Just position him as a wide midfielder and just set him to centre midfielder. You can have him as a wide centre midfielder. You're probably just as well doing that rather than wasting position trainings, because it might take you 100 position trainings. You just never know. So, yeah, like I say, that I'm not recommending you make him a wide midfielder. Just showing what you can do. Because, like I say, with mine, he doesn't fit into my double pivot. I don't often play an attack midfielder, so he doesn't really fit into my midfielder, but I do like him when I've used him. So it'd be nice to be able to use him more, and make him a wide midfielder would mean that I would be more comfortable using him either on the left or the right. So it could be an option for you. But there's a few ways you can use him. It's just a question of how he's going to fit into your midfield. If you can fit him into your midfield, like I say, from personal experience, he's nice on the ball, got really nice passing. He does need 1 or 2 skills, depending on what position you use him in, but certainly in the middle of the park, interception would be a very important one. Possibly outside curler, not overly important. But yeah, just 1 or 2 skills needed. And it's a question of how he fits into midfield. But if he does fit into midfield in any of these positions, it looks like a very tidy card. It's around just about as good as any card I've had of Kökçü so far. And Marcus Thuram is next. This guy can be used in the League Challenge. Of course, you can use him in the Italian League Challenge, or you can use him with the France squad. So there's no concerns there with Thuram. Got a face scan, got unwavering form these days. I'm pretty sure he used to be inconsistent, so that's good. He's a goal poacher. He used to be a dummy runner. Changed to a goal poacher, I think around about the time of the big update last year, something like that, there or thereabouts. Skill-wise, I don't think he always had first-time shot, so that's been a good change. I'm pretty sure they added first-time shot at some point. He's got a few skill moves there. He's got heading, he's got acrobatic finishing. Got a pretty good selection of skills. I think long range curler will be the first one I'd like to put on him. You might want to give him aerial superiority. He's quite a big physical guy. He's not got great jumping though, but he's got good physical strength. And he's got heading. So yeah, maybe he's aerial. Long range curler. Those are the 2 I think I'd look to put on him. Again, his weaker foot is fairly strong, but he doesn't use it very often. So outside curler might well be a handy one to give him as well. So yeah, let's jump over to eFootball Hub and let's just have a look at how good he actually is, this Thuram card. So he's pretty decent. We've obviously had quite a lot of versions of Thuram. He's had a few Player of the Week cards while he's been at Inter. And a couple of his Player of the Week cards are a bit better overall. The 2 better versions of Thuram from Player of the Week have better passing and are a bit better on the ball than this one. There's also one that's a target man. Obviously, he's got a very different playing style, complete opposite of a goal poacher. Really, goal poacher is going to be constantly looking to run in behind the defence. A target man is not. A target man is just going to kind of stand around and just wait for you to lob the ball at his head, basically. But yeah, the target man version of Thuram from Player of the Week also had better passing, had better jumping, as well as having that playing style. So different kind of profile to this one. In terms of highlight cards, most of his highlight cards previously have been dummy runner. There have been a couple of dummy runner ones that are slightly better than this one overall, but it's a very different playing style. Obviously, a dummy runner is going to be making diagonal runs out to the flanks and creating space in the middle. Goal poacher is going to stay in the middle, and well, for the most part. But like I say that because it seems like quite often if I'm trying to put a cross in, my lone striker comes running over to the wing for some reason. He doesn't want to stay in the middle and wait for a cross. But yeah, goal poacher for the most part, like I say, they'll be staying a lot more central compared to a dummy runner. So yeah, a couple of dummy runners are slightly better than this, but the playing style might not be preferable. And in terms of the previous goal poachers, around about the same level as this, really. I've had a couple. There was one in the recent Inter pack, and there's one in the recent nominated contract pack. I think that was that one with the famous fathers or something, whatever they called it, lineage or something, elite lineage, something like that. So yeah, the two recent goal poacher versions of Thuram, if you've got one of them, I don't think you really need this one because they're pretty similar overall, really. Although I would say the balance looks worse on this one for some reason. I guess they boosted the balance on those. Compared to his GP card, he's had a nice boost to his on the ball and his kicking power, but that's about it. They've not really boosted anything else, to be honest. Just a bit better on the ball and a bit better kicking power. Apart from that, yeah, same deal, really. But yeah, that is nice to have a boost on the ball because he's not brilliant on the ball in his GP card. And it's a pretty good card on the whole. I wouldn't change a great deal, but I think one obvious thing is that you see his finishing is a bit shy of the 90 mark. I'd like the ball control to hit the 80 mark. You can spare 1 point of his dexterity, certainly. He's not got great balance, but you're not going to notice losing 1 point off there. Feel that straight on shooting. Could we free up the points to... it's a tough one. See, you could take a point off speed, and you're not going to miss it, but if you take one off speed, you're going to lose 2 of kicking power because you're at the 88 mark. Do you want to lose him off the aerial? He's at 90 physical contact. That's probably more than he needs. Depends what kind of build you want. Let's just treat him as a goal poacher and forget the aerial ability initially. We'll do that build first. So you can get his shooting up to 90. He's finishing. 1 point left. Stick it on passing. Yeah, if you just want to get him in behind the defence to take chances, you're not going to be putting many crosses in. I would probably do that. So the pace is there. You've got decent kicking power. Bit of physical strength to make up the fact his balance is pretty poor. That is a shame, his balance being poor. For a goal poacher, he's not brilliant on the ball, but he could be worse. Awareness and finishing both at 90 though. So yeah, if you just want to get some through balls in behind the defence, get him in behind and take chances with his feet, you could maybe build in something like that. I think that would work as a target man. Let's go back down to 8 on shooting, and let's take a bit more off dexterity. Let's see to what extent we can beef this guy up and spam some crosses in at him. Go up to 8 on aerial. Put 4 on goalkeeper 1, and we'll just put 1 back on passing, I guess. Yeah. Would it be great in the air? Decent jumping height, about 278, 277.8 centimeters there. If you gave him aerial superiority, he's got heading and acrobatic. He could be pretty decent in the air. Is that really what you want to do with Thuram? It could work for you. He's still got 88 awareness and finishing. He's not as great on the ball now. Got a bit less pace, and we've gone below 70 balance, but the balance, I think whatever you do, he's not going to have great balance. Yeah, if you're going to be putting a lot of crosses in, that could be the build for you. I still give him long range curler because you will get chances on the ground. The long range curlers are very important one with shooting. But with aerial superiority, if you build in something like that, if you put a lot of crosses in, could be pretty decent. Like you see there, that jumping height getting up to just shy of 278, that's decent. It's very decent. So he will win his fair share of headers. That physical contact as well, that does play a part in winning headers. So yeah, you want to put a lot of crosses in, that build could make him very decent for you. You can use him as a wide man, wide left. Wide right's out of the question. Loftus 61 as a right footer. He's not got pinpoint crossing. Even if you get him pinpoint crossing, I mean, it's just auto allocate as a right mid, just for the hell of it. So yeah, auto allocated as a right mid, fully boosted, 68 lofted pass. Yeah, you're not going to make him a right winger, are you? Let's be honest. But as a left winger cutting onto his right foot, maybe, just maybe. I don't know. I mean, look at that balance on a wide man. Yikes, not very good. He had to put a lot of points in his dribbling there to make him pretty decent on the ball. Tight possession still not great though, 82, and his passing's horrible. Yeah, I don't know. He's certainly got some qualities as a wide man. I'm pretty sure there's 1 or 2 previous versions of Thuram that are better suited to playing wide left. And he did long range curler as well. Yeah, I think all things considered, horrible passing, needs long range curler, and probably passing skills. Balance is horrible. Yeah, there are some qualities there, but I don't think many people are going to look at this guy as a left wing, to be honest. I think he's definitely going to be a centre forward for just about everyone. So I'll leave him on auto allocation. You can beef him up early, make him a bit more crossbar friendly. But I think for most people, something like this, or if you tweak it like I did to get his finishing up to 90, could be very effective as a striker. So yeah, in terms of goal poacher versions of Thuram, certainly in terms of highlights, he's pretty much on a par with the 2 previous ones we've had. If you've got a goal poacher player of the week card of his, you might have one that's a bit better than this, because you've had a couple of pretty nice ones. But yeah, if you've not got a better version already and you like him, then this could be a very good one to pick up. Could be very handy for the Italian League change. But just like a bit more balance, to be honest. But yeah, he's a side centre forward. You can train him a couple of different ways. And he's a good version of Thuram. So yeah, good striker card that. And next we've got our goalie, and we have got Anatolii Trubin, Ukrainian keeper who plays for Benfica. It's our second Benfica player from this pack, so this is an interesting pack for Benfica fans. So he's got a face scan, and the first thing we got to note with this guy, he is massive, 199 centimeters. What's that? 6'6", 6'7", something like that. He's huge. He's got unwavering form. There's no Portuguese league challenge, but we do get live update. He's got unwavering form. High point, long throw, penalty saver. It's a highlight card. You can give him a low point if you want to. The question with this guy, he's obviously massive and he's got long arms as well. The question is going to be, are his stats that good? Because if you've got a goalkeeper as big as this guy and he's got good reach, if he's got good stats as well, then you're going to have a very good goalkeeper on your hands. So let's just jump over to eFootball Hub and we'll find out. Like I say, he's got fairly long arms, 180 centimeters, and are the stats good? Yep. This is an interesting goalie. So we've had a few versions of Trubin. We've had a highlight card. We've had a few Player of the Week cards. None of them are quite as high, go quite as high as this one in terms of overall rating. So on the face of it, it's the best version of him. But one thing to consider is with Player of the Week cards, you've got to remember Player of the Week goalkeepers, they still nerf the jumping, and that affects the overall rating. So that jumping will be a factor in the overall rating of this card. So for that reason, if you look at his most recent Champions League card, in terms of the core goalkeeping attributes, because that's what really matters in a goalkeeper, he's actually just about as good as this card. So the overall rating might not be as high, but his actual goalkeeping ability is. It's just the jumping on this card hasn't been nerfed. So that artificially, well not artificially, but the jumping being nerfed on Player of the Week goalie cards, it artificially nerfs the overall rating a little bit. So we've not had that jumping nerfed on here. That means the rating's a little bit higher than it would be on the Player of the Week card. So that Champions League Player of the Week card, the most recent one, is just about as good as this one. If you got that one, you don't need this one, even though the rating's one lower. But yeah, outside of that Player of the Week card, this is the best version of Adolf Trubin, and those stats are looking good for a massive goalie. But for a goalie of his size, and it's also rare. It's not just rare for a goalie to be as big as this guy and have good goalkeeper stats, but I don't think there are many massive goalkeepers with the attacking goalkeeper playing style. So this is a fairly rare one, I think. This could be quite a rare card. It's a bit of a shame that there's no league challenge you can use him in. But even without that, I'm tempted to spin this pack for this guy, to be honest. He looks good. I don't think I'll change a lot with the way points are allocated, but for a gigantic guy, you don't need those points on aerial. So if we take those 3 off aerial, that means we can boost another one of these by 1. I think the obvious one is the one with catching. Which one's catching? Reflex and catching, perfect. So get one more reflexes, one on catching. There we go. I'll just do that. And that to me is a very interesting looking goalkeeper. Again, I always say, if you're looking at goalkeepers, if you've got a beefy legend, a recent legend goalkeeper like a Buffon, Czech, or one of them, obviously you're not going to need a goalie like this. But if you don't have one of those goalies, especially if you're free to play, if you just get your goalies from Player of the Week and these types of pack, this guy is very interesting to me. Those goalie stats, before you even look at his size, they look pretty solid. But when you consider how massive he is and how good his arm reach is, yeah, very interesting. So it's a shame you can't use many league challenges. I'm not sure how many people rock a Ukraine squad. Obviously, if you're from Ukraine, then you may well do. It'd be a brilliant option for you. But yeah, even just for divisions and your main squad, I think unless you've got a real beefy double booster legend goalkeeper, this guy to me, combine those stats with his physical stature, his physical profile, very, very interesting indeed. And just for this guy alone, I'm really considering maybe spinning this pack. So yeah, that is a good, solid, and frankly gigantic goalkeeper card. And we got quite an interesting one next, because we've got Kuluševski, and it's the first highlight card of Kuluševski since they changed him to a creative playmaker. Always used to be a roaming flank. So he's got a face scan, he's now a creative playmaker and an attacking midfielder. He used to be down as a right winger. He's got the same position he's always had. It's just that they've changed his registered position and of course his playing style. Got unwavering form as well. English, can use him in the English League Challenge. Gets live update, of course. So skill wise, they've not changed his skills, but he's got one touch pass and through passing, which are the most important ones for an attacking midfielder. He's got long range curler and long range shooting as well. Outside curler, got a nice selection of skills there, a few skill moves. Let's train him up. Let's see how good he is. Where is eFootball Hub? Where is eFootball Hub? That's a good question. There it is. So this Kuluševski card looks very interesting. So again, one of the first things I'm noting here, obviously he's good technically, good in the ball and all the rest, but he's got that bit of physical strength as well. The bounce isn't brilliant though, that's a bit of a shame, but yeah, looking very interesting, this Kuluševski card straight away. I've had a couple of Player of the Week versions of him. One was a roaming flank, which is his old kind of regular playing style. One was a whole player. This card looks better than both of those cards in terms of ability, at least. Obviously the different playing style though, slightly different kind of build profile. You look at his best highlight cards. I think this is probably just about his best highlight card. You know, there's a few that you can train up to be pretty similar as a right winger. But I don't see any Kuluševski card that we've had that can be as good as an attack midfielder as this one. Just keep in mind that playing style, because you can use this guy as a right winger or still be a playmaker. Maybe that works for you, maybe it doesn't. I much prefer a roaming flank on a winger. So for the playing style, you know, if this version of Kuluševski had the roaming flank playing style, I'll be very interested. But if the creative playmaker playing style works for you out wide, could well be a really nice version out wide as well. But certainly as an attack midfielder, this looks like the best version we've had of Kuluševski. From his GP cards, another one with a pretty mixed boost. His pace, his kicking power, a bit of physical contact and balance as well been boosted. Interesting because his balance still isn't that high, but yeah, decent boost overall. And this is a very good looking Kuluševski card. In terms of how the points are allocated, we're just starting off as an attack midfielder here. You could spare some from dribbling. Do you want to though? My inclination would be to take a few from there. Beef up his speed and kicking power. It's mainly the kicking power. You don't need so much speed on an attacking midfielder. In fact, it'd be nice to get his finishing up to 80, wouldn't it? Yeah, let's do that. Only got 2 points left. Stick him an aerial. Yeah, it's a shame his balance is only 80. That's the one thing that's a bit of a letdown, really. But he's got, for an attacking midfielder, the pace is good. The kicking power is pretty decent. Finishing at 80. He's got long range shooting and long range curler. He's got the passing skills. He's got low pass 90. Very nice on the ball there. Attacking range 81. Yeah. And a bit of physical strength about him. He's an interesting looking card. It's very interesting. I've always really enjoyed Kuluševski in the game. I'm not a particularly big fan of his in real life, and not really got an opinion on him in real life. But on eFootball, he just feels really good to me. You know, he looks like he might not be so great. You know, he's about 6'1", 80 balance. You're thinking, is he going to feel that smooth on the ball? He's going to be that great, but he just feels really nice to me. I've got an old, I had one from a league pack, a Premier League pack, and then I got a nominate contract version, or maybe it's the other way around. But whichever version I've got now, I've used him a lot in the English League Challenge. He's one of my favourite right wingers to use as a roaming flank. Feels lovely on the ball. He's got a bit of end product. He's been really, really good for me. So yeah, my personal experience, this guy looks really good. Form's been a bit disappointing from this season, to be honest, and he's now injured, so that's a bit of a concern maybe. But in the long run, this card does look very good. I expect he'll feel very nice on the ball based on my personal experience. He's got the passing. He's got a bit of shooting ability as well. Yeah, as an attack midfielder, he looks really interesting. A bit of physical strength is a nice bonus on an attack midfielder in the middle of the park. That could be a bit of a difference maker. That could be very nice. As an SS, I wouldn't train him much differently behind the attack. Creative playmaker playing style will be active there as well. Could be very interesting. Could be a very nice option there. Like I say, you can play him out wide on the right. He will still have that creative playmaker playing style active. That might work for you. It might not. I don't personally like creative playmakers out wide, but if you do, he could be very interesting. He's got a bit of pace, nice on the ball. The passing's not as important out wide, so if we take some points off passing, you can give him a bit more speed. Could be. Actually, we'll give him a bit more acceleration because then we get a bit more balance on him. We'll do that. 1 point left over. So stick it back on aerial. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, you could take all the points of passing even. Then you got 4 left over. You could get speed to 90. Yeah. Yeah. Hello. That's better. Got 2 left. We'll put him on passing. Yeah. As a right winger, I'd probably do that. Pace on the ball. He's got long range curler, cutting onto his left foot, get kicking power as well behind his shots. Could be very interesting. This is a nice looking card. Through the middle looks very nice. Wide right looks very nice. You could change as a striker. We'll start as a left wing first, actually. Has he got pinpoint crossing? No, he's not got pinpoint crossing. Lofted only at 7-7 there. How good of a cross bounder can we make him? Training everyone as a cross bounder today. I don't know. Decent. You can make him decent. I mean, you don't need so much shooting. We'll leave the curl at 80. Ooh. Where are we there? Yeah, you could make him a cross bammer. You can make him an old school winger, putting crossing, give him pinpoint crossing, training for left wing. Could be very decent pace. Again, the balance isn't great, but tidy on the ball, very tidy on the ball. Low pass would be fantastic, but lofted pass at 85. You're getting pinpoint crossing, bit of curl, decent kicking power. Yeah, left wing, whipping crosses in, could be effective, could be an option for you if you want to use him that way. If he doesn't work for you as a right wing or through the middle, yeah, it could well work pretty well as a left winger with his left foot there, pinpoint crossing, putting crosses in. And then the only other position where we've got centre mid, but again, I always say it, but if you've got an attack midfielder like this, you're going to use him as a centre mid. Why would you do that? creative playmaker playing style won't be active. He can't defend to save his life. He does have some physical strength, to be fair. I will say that. Playing him deep as a centre midfielder. Hang on then, let's just say, we'll go to auto allocation actually. What does auto allocation tell us? Hang on, okay, let's just tweak that. Can you make him a centre mid? I don't mean to laugh, but I just can't. I can never deal with people using attacking players as centre mids just because they've got the position. You've got to be able to defend in the middle of the park. He does have that physical strength though. You can almost get his tackling to 70. I mean, you want to make him a centre mid, go for it. That's up to you. But yeah, like I say, not for me. He's definitely an attacking player for me. You've got to push him further out the park. But yeah, the last position, one other position, he's got a centre forward. Can you make this Kuluševski a striker? I doubt it. Let's have a look at what auto allocation tells us. You could get away with it. Mid-80s awareness and finishing. Obviously great on the ball for striker. Good passing. Bit of pace. Physical contact. But yeah, you're going to use Kuluševski as a striker? No, you're not. Let's be honest. The awareness and finishing are the things that let him down. Yes, he's great elsewhere, but no active playing style. Awareness and finishing need to be higher. With this Kuluševski, you're looking at an attacking midfielder or a right winger, possibly a left winger if that suits you better, but certainly through the middle and wide right as a left footer. The qualities he's got, yes, the balance is the one thing that's a bit on the low side, but he's got a great selection skills right out of the box. If you're going to add skills, first time shot, heel trick. Has he got? He's not got soul control. I thought he had soul control. He's not, has he? I think I've given mine soul control. Yeah, soul control would be a nice one. If you want to give him the ball or a double touch, flip flap as well as a flip flap, soul control. First time shot, heel trick, maybe those ones, but he's got a good selection skills from the start. There's nothing he desperately needs. And like I say, it looks like it's just about the best version we've had of Kuluševski. Certainly as an attacking midfielder. First one we've had, first special version we've had since he's become a creative playmaker. I think for a lot of people, this could be a very nice card to pick up. And next we have another Nuno Mendes card. We've had a few of these. He's been in Player of the Week a few times from PSG's Champions League campaign. He's got a face scanner course, attacking fullback, only standard form, no league challenge to use PSG cards in, so that's a downside. You could use him with the Portugal squad, otherwise you're using him either in unlimited or in divisions in your main squad. He does seem to get good form for PSG though, because obviously they win just about every week. Skill wise, pretty good selection here. So getting forward, got pinpoint crossing, he's also got line shooting. Soul control is a nice one. You don't always get that on a fullback. Low off the pass. Defensively, we've got interception, sliding tackle, acrobatic clearance. If I'm giving this guy skills, might want to consider one touch and through. We'll see how good his low pass is. Doesn't look great at level 1. Maybe he's one touch and through, and then defensively, man marking, blocker, maybe fighting spirit. There's a bunch of skills you might want to consider giving this guy. So let's go over to eFootball Hub. We'll train him up, see how good he is. He's unsurprisingly pretty good. Yikes, 98 speed. Yeah, he's fast, that's for sure. Yeah, interesting Nuno Mendes card this. So we've had quite a few versions of him. Like I say, we had some Player of the Week ones. The best Player of the Week version we've had of him is a booster. When he's fully boosted, it is a bit better than this one overall. And the next best, I think, is about the same as well in terms of overall ability. But yeah, bit more balanced than this one. But this one has got crazy speed. They do often usually nerf the speed on Player of the Week fullbacks. Interestingly, if you compare him to his best highlight cards, they tend to have a bit more pace actually. Sounds a bit crazy, but speed 98. He tends to go up to about 99 speed on his best highlight cards, and a bit more balance as well. But he got a bit more defending on this version. Interesting. So yeah, looks like they balanced it out a bit better, this Nuno Mendes card. Just looking at his GP card, and so what they've done compared to his GP card, they've put 11 points on his defensive engagement and his aggression. Interesting. So they've really balanced out his defensive attributes. So there's a big boost on the engagement and aggression there. They've also put a bunch of points on his attacking awareness. Tight possession, that needed a boost. It still does, to be fair. Low and lofted pass have been boosted. Again, like the same thing with low pass, that still needs a boost. But they have at least boosted it from what it was. Yeah, decent boost overall. Again, it's one of these cards where if you're looking at his GP card, if you auto allocate it, they allocate more points to low body and dexterity. So it looks like he's got more on some of his low body and dexterity attributes in his GP card, but that's just because they allocate more points. That doesn't mean he's better at those things than his GP card. It just depends how you train him. This has obviously had a decent boost from his GP card, and like I say, the things that have boosted, I think they've made some very good choices with the engagement and the aggression, tight possession and low pass. Yeah, he's had a nice boost, and this looks like a very nice fullback card, to be honest. The obvious thing that you can do is you can spare some points from low body if you want to beef him up elsewhere. It's just going to be a question of where you want to beef him up. I'll start with a more attacking build. You can use him as a winger. Let's just start as a winger. We'll get that out of the way, because you could use this guy as a winger. Still 1 point in defending there. We're going to do yet another crossband build. The crossbanders will be absolutely delighted today. Right, you can go all the way down to 4 on lower body. And he's still got 90 speed. I think that works fine. It'd be nice to have a bit more kicking power on our crosses, but we've got to beef him up a bit going forward. Oh, he's not got much curl on him. Terrible at shooting as well. Right, let's just get him up to 90 lofted. Couple more on dribbling. Yeah, that's about what we can do, isn't it? Yeah, so if you want to use him as a winger, he's already pretty proficient at left midfield. He won't have an active playing style. He'll be decent enough on the ball, but that type possession is a bit iffy. Low pass at 82, could do with 1 touch pass and 3 passing, but 90 lofted. Yes, he's not got a great deal of curl, not got brilliant kicking power, but he's got pinpoint crossing, so he should have a pretty decent cross on the whole, albeit it would be nice to have a bit more kicking power and curl. Pace is great still. Bit of balance, bit of physical strength. Yeah, you want to use him as a cross spammer, left wing, whipping some cross in with his left foot. Could be an option for you. I don't think he's amazing. His 1 and 2 attributes I'd like to be a bit higher. I'd like a bit more kicking power and curl on his crosses. I'd like a bit more tight possession, and he's not got any passing skills. 1 touch and 3 would be nice. So yeah, 1 and 2 concerns as a left winger, but you could do that if you wanted to. But let's go back to left back. We'll start by making him an attacking left back. And like I say, I mean, the lower body is where we can definitely spare some points, whatever we're going to do with him. Let's go down to 8 on lower body. Physical at 80, I'll leave that. It's pretty much on the mark. That's what I'd look for on a fullback. So this is an attacking fullback build. I would probably be inclined to do just about that. Yeah, get his low pass up to 80, lofted at 88. So he's still got great pace, stamina as well. The balance is decent for a fullback. Physical contact as well. He's still capable of defending. He beefed him a little bit on the ball there. We've got his low pass at 80, which is nice. Lofted at 88. So as an attacking left back, that looks very nice to me. Very, very decent attacking left back. If we did a more defensive build, so we take a few points back from over here. You can get all his defensives 80 plus. We've got 3 points left over. We do, to be honest, what we could do, we could give him a bit more physical strength. 1 point left. Go up 1 higher on aerial. Yeah. More defensive build. Great pace of stamina. Physical up to 84. All the defenses now 80 plus. Yeah. A more defensive build. And if you want to put the defensive instruction on him, as a defensive fullback, could definitely do a job for you. Could be very solid. And then you got centre back as well. Interesting. Could we make Nuno Mendes a sneaky centre back? Not really. No, it's a shame. I felt like there's maybe a slight chance he could have been a really decent one, but defensive awareness at 84 is not great. Physical contact 84 is not great. Jumping 77 is horrendous. You need to give him a bunch of defensive skills. Yeah, this guy is a centre back for me as a non-starter. Yes, he'd have amazing pace for a centre back, but you need a bit more than pace for a centre back. So yeah, he's very much a left back. So yeah, I think the way they boost him is very interesting. We have had a bunch of versions of him. If you've got a good version already, then you may already consider that you've got a good one and you don't need this one. But this is one of the better versions we've had of Nuno Mendes. I like the way they boosted him. He's still got insane pace, but he's not as lacking in some areas where he often is. He can defend. He's a bit better with some of his technicals than he often is. And yeah, on the whole, I think that's a very good attacking left back, to be honest. He could use him as a left midfielder. He could make him more of a defensive fullback. But certainly as an attacking fullback, it's a very good option. It's a shame there's no league challenge to use him in, but outside of that, could be a very decent attacking left back to pick up. And next up, we have got Gvardiol. So we've got a face scan, of course. He's a build-up centre-back. He can play left back as well. Only standard form, but he seems to pick up decent form for Man City. He seems to play well whenever I watch him, certainly. Yeah. So and you can of course use him in the English League Challenge. Skill wise, so he's got pretty much every skill he needs for both positions. Really, he's got a great search and defensive skills. He's got heading and aerial as a centre back, and then man marking, search and blocker, acrobatic, fight spirit. I think sliding tackle is the only defensive skill he's lacking really, but that's probably the least important defensive skill in my opinion. And then he's got weighted pass, nice bonus. Long throw, but pinpoint crossing when you play him as a left back. So yeah, he's got pretty good searching skills there. I think all I'd really be looking to give him, if I'm going to give him skills, I'd probably start with passing skills, to be honest. Maybe he's 1 touch pass and 3 passing, but he's got a great searching skills to start off with. But let's jump over to the eFootball Hub, let's train him up, and we'll see how good this version of Gvardiol is. So as a centre back, pretty good, as you would expect. So we've had quite a few versions of him at this point. We had there was a World Cup Player of the Week card way back, not so great. That's been left behind a little bit. There was a Legend card from the World Cup as well. That was a Destroyer. Pretty similar overall to this one, to be honest. Obviously, it's got permanent B form, different playing style. The stats are kind of shuffled around a little bit. Not so good as a left back though. There was a Champions League Player of the Week card which I got. I'm very happy with. That one's +1 overall as a centre back, but I don't think he's better as a centre back. I think he's just kind of, because he's got some really nice stats down the left and stuff as a left back, a bit more pace. They kind of compensate for the fact that his core defences and the physical strength and stuff aren't actually quite as good as this one. So as a centre back, I actually prefer this one to that Champions League Player of the Week one, even if the rating comes out one lower. But that Champions League one's definitely better as a left back though, and he's an attacking left back. What else we had? We had a Showtime. Obviously, Showtime's better centre back or left back. Defensive fullback playing style on the Showtime card though. And then I think the obvious one most people want to compare this one to is the one from the penalty game, because he's in the penalty game, or whatever you want to call it, the daily penalty reward thingy pack. There's way more acceleration on this card than the one you get from the penalty game. A bit more balance as well, but the one you get from the penalty game has a few more points on jumping. So depends on where your priorities are. I think essentially what you're looking at is acceleration versus jumping. It's a tough one for me because jumping is important. He's not the tallest centre back. He's not short, but with 6'1", 91 jumping is good enough. I mean, what's the vertical reach? 273.9, so it's okay. But do you want your centre back's vertical reach to be okay, or do you want it to be fantastic? I'm not saying the one for the penalty game is fantastic, but a few extra points can make a bit of a difference. So yeah, essentially, if you're going to really break it down, if you're comparing this version of Gvardiol to the one from the penalty game, more acceleration on this one, more jumping on the penalty one. That's the main difference, really. But otherwise, in terms of other Gvardiol cards, the two best highlight cards otherwise, one from a Premier League pack and one from some kind of Legend box with a kind of purple background. Both pretty similar to this one, but again, more jumping, less acceleration, similar situation, really. And I'm just seeing on his GP card, comparing to his GP card, here's the reason for this. They've taken 4 points away from his jumping. Why would you reduce one of the attributes on the highlight card? What are you doing? So compared to his GP card, they've reduced his jumping by 4. Thanks, Konami. That's really making this card really appealing. I'm way more inclined to spend coins on this pack now. But they have boosted him in some places. They have boosted acceleration by 12. Wow, interesting. Stamina's up by 10. They put 6 points on tight possession and on defensive awareness. Okay, so maybe I'm being a bit harsh with the nerf to his jumping. I guess if they boosted him so much elsewhere, they're thinking, hang on, he's going to be too good. We don't want him to be as good as, legend cards and so on. So they've decided to nerf him somewhere, and it's jumping where they've nerfed him. Whatever the reason, yes, they've given him a fantastic boost in some areas, including obviously acceleration, a big boost on acceleration. But to take 4 points away from anything on a highlight card is very annoying, especially on jumping for a centre back. So it's a very interesting boost that they've given him, the way they've balanced out his points. Again, when you look at his GP card on auto allocation, they allocate 2 more points to his defending. So you look at his GP card at first glance, you think, well, he's worse at defending than his GP card. That's because there's less points allocated. So it's not as simple as that. I think essentially what you're looking at is that they balanced them out. I seem to remember saying similar on a previous version. That's what they've done again. They balanced them out, balanced the stats out a bit. Very annoying to lose some points off jumping, but they boost him a lot elsewhere. So he's not really got a weakness. He looks like a really well-rounded centre back. This Gvardiol card, very decent pace for a centre back. Even though they've nerfed it, jumping still over 90, physical at 90, balance at over 70 is not common for a centre back. Stamina over 80 is good. That's had a boost as well. All the defensives over 90. And then down the left there, it's not too bad on the ball, and his passing is decent. Very decent for a centre-back. Low 75, lofted 76. Heading 82 is not brilliant. It's not the end of the world, but it's not brilliant at 82. So, yeah, on the whole, no weakness there. It's a very nice, well-rounded centre-back. I won't harp on and on about the jumping. The defending's at 13. I don't know why they've gone one higher on defending. That last increase is 4 points, and you're still 90 plus on all of them. If you take one away, you can get 4 points by doing that. You can nudge his acceleration up to the 80 mark. You can get his ball control to the 70 mark, and you can stick one on goalkeeper 1. In fact, you could take that one back from there, those two back from there. You can go all the way up to 4 on goalkeeper 1. You can get his jump into where it often is. Hello. Yeah, maybe that's the thing to do with this guy. What's that? His vertical reach 276.5. So yeah, he's not going to be bad in the air. It's just not as good as he often is, but you can nudge that jumping back up. with the help of goalkeeper one there, and taking one away from his defending. So yeah, you've got another good Gvardiol card here. It's obviously one of the better ones that we've had. It's just a question of how annoyed you are about the jumping thing, but like I've just done there, you can nudge a few points back onto jumping. You can get it right up to 95. He's not going to be bad in the air at all, just not as good in the air as you can make him on his other, on his better highlight cards that we've had previously. But I think with the boost they have given him, the acceleration, very nice. Stamina likewise. They've beefed his awareness up as well, because he's one of these defenders similar to Upamecano in a way that in the past he's quite often had awareness a fair few points lower than his other defensive attributes, but it does actually get to the 90 mark, and it's all a bit more balanced now. So this is a very nice version of Gvardiol. Yes, the jumping's been nerfed, but a very nice boost to a few other attributes. And on the whole, a very nice, very well balanced centre back card. And as a left back, can we make him a decent left back? I think what you're basically looking at is a very defensive left back. If you like your fullbacks to basically be additional centre backs, like a lot of people like doing for some reason, whatever floats your boat. But if you like doing that, it could be very effective. He's got just about enough pace. Just the acceleration's a bit low, but the speed's at 90. Physically strong. The balance isn't as bad as it could be for a centre back converted to a left back. Stamina's fine. Defensively very strong. Down the left, he's going to be horrible on the ball, but if this is your type of fullback, then I don't think you're probably not going to care about that. So yeah, maybe it's worth giving him 1-2 passing skills, but he's got everything else to use. Put a defensive instruction on him as a left back. Could be very useful for you as a defensive fullback. As an attacking fullback, not good enough on the ball for me. I wouldn't use him that way. And then the other position you could use him for, can you make him a defensive midfielder? I doubt it. Let's just say you don't need that much on defending. We'll go to 9 on defending. Can we make him half decent on the ball? Not really. Yeah. Passing attributes are important on the game these days. They've always been important, but more so since the last update. So yeah, as defensive mid, is it worth the position trainers? You need a few passing skills on him? I don't think so. He's got some strengths there, but on the whole, I doubt it. I think you're definitely going to look at this guy, possibly as a defensive left back, but more likely as a centre back. And like I say, a very interesting boost. Annoying to lose some points off jumping on a highlight card, but they've given him a nice boost in some other areas. On the whole, he's looking like a very nice, very well balanced, very well rounded centre back. You may feel if you've got a good version already, like I have. I got the one from the penalty game. I don't think it's worth spending the pack just for this card, but certainly on the whole, it is a slight upgrade. I think it's just the jumping is a bit lacking compared to the one for the penalty game. But yeah, a very good centre back card. Can use him in English Elite Challenge. Seems to get a lot of good form. Yeah, it's a very good card. It's one of the better versions we've had of Gvardiol. And last but not least, we have got Phil Foden. Feels like it's been a while since we had a Foden card. So he's obviously got a face scan. He's a creative playmaker, only standard form. He's not particularly two-footed. Is he going to need outside curler? Yep. Yeah, he's always been lacking in skills. He does need a few skills, Foden. He's on B form at the moment. Not the best season for Man City. But yeah, on B form at the moment. He can play loads of positions. And yeah, he does need some skills. It depends where you're playing, because one touch and 3 are the most important ones in a lot of positions. But I think coming off the right wing, long range curler is the first one that comes to mind. Long range curler would be a very important one. You might want to give him outside curler, like I say. Then what? Outside curler, outside curler, long range curler, heel chick maybe, fighting spirit. First time shot or long range shooting maybe. I think that's what I'll be looking to give him. But you can maybe give him soul control. Again, soul control on a flip flop. Then you have the ball or double touch. But yeah, there's a few skills he needs as Foden, like always really. But let's train him up. Let's go over to eFootball Hub. How good is this version of Foden? It's obviously good. We've had a lot of versions of him. Not so many recently, but we've had a bunch of player of the week versions. We've had roaming flank, prolific winger. We've had whole player. I think we had a playmaker as well, box to box. I think at some point I've got a couple of player of the week Foden cards. They're pretty nice. This card's around about a similar level to the better ones, to be honest. So it'll come down to the kind of profile, the way the stats are shuffled around on each player of the week card, and of course the playing style. But certainly overall ability around about the level of the better player of the week versions. If you look at the previous highlight cards, there's been just a couple slightly better. One from a recent England pack. And one from some kind of legend box, one with that kind of dark green football background, slightly better than this one. Apart from that though, it's looking good. I think again, like with Gvardiol, there's an obvious one you want to compare this one to, and that's the one that people get when they start the game these days, because you get a free Van Dijk, Mbappe and Foden cards. So to compare them to that free Foden when you start the game, very similar overall. Essentially, this new one has got a bit more speed, bit more physical contact and a bit more low pass. So he's a bit better as an attacking midfielder, but he's very similar overall, and that 3-1 does have a few more points in one or two other areas. But I would say speed, physical contact, and low pass, very important attributes on Foden. So I think for that reason, even though the overall ability is very similar, I think this one's better. I think it's preferable to that 3-1. Not a massive difference though. I wouldn't, if we've got that 3-1, I wouldn't exactly be spinning this pack just for this card. But yeah, overall very similar, but I do think he's a slight upgrade for the attributes they have boosted compared to that 3-1. From his GP card, speed is one of the ones they boosted, and low pass, physical contact. Yeah, that's basically it really. Those are the ones they boosted the most at level 1. Apart from that, not much else has really been boosted. So yeah, it's a good Foden card. The best, no, but it's good. As you can see, he's obviously fantastic on the ball there. 97 ball control, 94 dribbling type possession. Got pretty good pace. It's going to depend where you want to use him. The way he's auto allocated, to be honest, if you're going to use him out wide, I'm not sure you need to change much. I think the obvious thing you might want to do, I mean, for a start, you got 1 point in defending. I'll take that back, yoink. But yeah, the obvious thing to do, it'd be nice to get that speed up to 90 mark if you're playing him out wide. So we just nick a couple of dribbling, straight up to 90 on speed. Bosh. I think that's the job done really. 1 point left over. Stick it on aerial. Yeah, I think if you're playing him out wide, again, playmaker playing style might not work for you out wide. Doesn't really work for me, but it's not the end of the world. And for a lot of people, it does work out wide. In which case, pace, kicking power, balance is fantastic. Great on the ball. He's got a low centre of gravity, 171 centimeters. He is nimble. He's nippy. It's gonna be lovely on the ball. Awareness, low pass, finishing for a wide man, absolutely fine. So yeah, long range curler. If you are playing him wide right, very important. I think long range curler, soul control, outside curler, and then just whatever tickles you fancy beyond that really. And he could be very, very nice coming off that right wing. Playing him through the middle, passing's more important. So let's just, and speed's not as important now. So if you're going to play him through the middle and have him more of a playmaker, you can very easily get his passing up to 90, low pass. 4 points left now. Where are we going to put those? Let's give him a bit more physical strength. Why not? Yeah, you can do that. You can shove the points around this way and that way, but you can quite comfortably get his passing. Just bang up to 8 on passing, gets low pass up to 90. You got 1 touch pass and 2 passing skills already. He's still going to be lovely on the ball there, even after nicking a few points from there. Good attacking awareness. Finishing's at 81 as well. Good pace for an attacking mid, kicking power, balance. Could be very interesting. He's not physically strong, but I don't think he often goes to 68 on physical contact. We've only put 4 points on there. He has had a bit of a boost to his physical contact from his GP card. So yeah, as an attacking midfielder, this could be one of the better versions of Foden that we've had. We're very effective there. Again, I wouldn't play him as a centre mid. He's not got enough defensive ability or physical strength to play centre mid, in my opinion. He won't have an active playing style. He's definitely better going forward. Attack mid or SS, this kind of a build as a number 10 could be really, really nice as a creative playmaker. That creative playmaker playing style will be active in all his positions except for centre mid and centre forward. Let's go to centre forward. Can you make Foden a centre forward? I don't think you can. That's my guess. Yeah, iffy. You probably could, but not a great deal of physical strength. Finishing only at 85, fully boosted. Yes, he's going to be great on the ball with the passing. Very decent pace. Certainly the acceleration and the balance. The attacking awareness is decent. Is he going to be good enough for the centre forward? No, active playing style. You need to give him first time shot. Don't know. Don't think many people are going to want to do that, to be honest. I think he's definitely going to be better as a number 10. The other place you could play him as a left wing. Can you make him a bit of a cross spammer? His lofted pass isn't so great. I know on the free version he's got more lofted pass. But you could still do it. Yet another cross spam build. Cross spam is having a field day. We've got 2 points in defending. Nope. 4 points left. Where are they going? I just put 1 on dribbling and then 2 on aerial, I think. Yeah. So if you gave him pinpoint crossing, put him on the left. Pace, bit of kicking power, a little bit of curl. Lofted pass 81. If you gave him pinpoint crossing, he won't have an amazing cross, but it'll be okay. He's certainly got a bit of pace and good on the ball, good attacking awareness, so he could certainly do a job on the left. You want to do that. He's already proficient on the left, so all you need to do really, if you play him on the left, you want to put some crossing, is just give him pinpoint crossing really. He could be a decent option, but like I say, he won't have an amazing cross. Decent-ish 81, but not amazing even with pinpoint crossing. So could be an option on the left, but like I say, the free version and certain other versions of them will be better lofted pass than this one. But this one certainly I think is an attacking mid. I'll leave him on auto allocation, attacking mid, whatever that tells us. I mean, there's more on the ball than lower body, but we've done that build. Here's another build you could use through the middle as a number 10. You can use him wide right or the number 10, I think, to get the best out of him. Needs a few skills, but he's got the most important passing skills there as a playmaker. As I've mentioned, long range curler, maybe soul control, but the first two I'd look to put on him. An outside curler, actually, as well. Those are probably the first skills I'd look to put on him. But it's a very good version of Phil Foden. It's not necessarily the best, like I say, a couple of slightly better ones. And there is one that you get for free when you start the game these days, which might not be quite as good, but it's just about as good. It's just a few important attributes are slightly better on this one. So yeah, the chances are you may well have a better version of Foden, but if you don't, it's a very handy card. He's versatile. You can play him on the left, on the right, through the middle. You could do with a few skills, but yeah, it's a really handy card. This you can use him in the English League Challenge, and I think for a lot of people it could be a very handy one to pick up. So there's your European national team selection pack, whatever you call it. There's some decent ones in there. Some not so exciting. I don't think Tielemans is that exciting. Stiller, especially without the live update or any kind of club affiliation, that makes it a little bit less interesting. Quite a rare one though. Nathan Collins, first time I had a version of him. He's actually a solid destroyer centre back. Just needs a few skills. Kökçü, if you can find a way to fit him into your midfield, feels very nice in the ball in my experience. Nice passing, he's definitely got some qualities, that guy. Depay, in my experience, again, really nice card. If you can make him work for you, got a bunch of positions, if the playing style works for you, could be a really nice one. Trubin, massive goalkeeper, he's got good stats to back it up. I'm quite interested in this guy. Got a good Thuram card, it's pretty much what you expect from a good Thuram card. He's around about the same level as the two previous goal poacher highlight versions, including a nominal contract one. Good version of Nuno Mendes, good solid attacking left back. Kuluševski, now a creative playmaker, very interesting card. That to me is one of the more interesting cards in this pack. It's very nice indeed with it. He's got lots of qualities. The bounce isn't brilliant, but he's got more physical contact than you usually get on a wing or an attacking midfielder. And in my experience, again, he's a really nice card in this game. I've always really enjoyed using it. The roaming flank versions I've had of him. Phil Foden, maybe not the best version I've had of him, but it's a good one. I like the stats they've chosen to boost on him. It could be a very useful card to pick up. And then Gvardiol, annoying that they would nerf an important attribute on a highlight card by taking 4 points off his jumping, but nice boost, a very, very nice boost to some other attributes on it, and that's made him a very well-rounded centre-back and a very good centre-back. So yeah, there are some good cards in there. Maybe one or two that won't be so appealing, but depending on what you're looking for, depending on what versions you already have of these players and what kind of playing styles and profiles you like, it might well be a very appealing pack. I'm half tempted just to go for it just for Trubin, to be honest, but one thing to keep in mind with this pack, as is often the case, you do have 52 days, you got a month and a half at least before it expires, so you don't need to rush into your decision, but certainly there are some decent cards in there, and it's a pretty interesting pack on the whole. So yeah, cheers for watching this. Hopefully you found this useful. Let me know what you think about the pack. Be interested to know your thoughts. I will be reviewing the Belgium and Italy packs next. I'll move on to one of those next. Let me know which one of those you want me to review first. If you let me know in the comments, that will help me to decide. And then like I say, I'll move on to doing those two packs next, and I'll try to do a stream tomorrow, which is Monday. So hopefully I'll see you for that stream on Monday if I manage to do that stream. Otherwise, look out for those two review videos coming out for Italy and Belgium packs as well. And thanks again for watching. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and I will see you soon. Take it easy. See you later.